You know you're in Australia when it's 6:15 p.m. and you lather yourself in sunscreen. It's a very warm one here tonight, so welcome to day 6 of my Festive 500, and I have new gloves too. I ordered these about 5 years ago from AliExpress and they finally rocked up. Today's video, I've made quite a significant change to my road bike today, which, well, you already know, it's in the video title. I've got a new set of handlebars. But before I get to that and all the details, I'll tell you where I'm heading. Oh great, there's trees in the way. And there's now car back. That's why I've got this in. People have said they love the scenery, so I think I've got somewhere pretty special. Well, it's special for me. It's a fast descent, so we'll go there. It's a few big windmills, and there's a nice climb. It's around a 70-kilometre loop. I'm not quite sure I'll have the sun to do that. I have some lights and the radar, obviously. And I'm nice and bright again tonight. I've matched my, I matched my socks and drink bottles. It's as close as I can get to matching socks and drink bottles. Handlebars. Let's have a chat about handlebars. This Giant TCR that I have, 2009 edition, I set this up, sorry, it's a bit sweaty. I set this up as my race bike. Pretty much with the same geometry that I used 10 years ago when I was racing quite a lot. And racing time trials quite a lot too. Where my handlebars were 12 centimeters apart and I was very flexible. I'm still not too bad, but I'm not as flexible as I was. So originally with this bike, I picked it up and we put a set of 36 centimeter handlebars on it. 36s. Now I used to race 36s all the time, never had a problem with them. And then, oh, here's the hill we're going towards. The back of that hill over there. Oh, great, trees again. Over there. That's where we're heading. So I had a set of 36s on there, used those for a while, but given I wasn't racing all the time and I was just doing cruisy Ks, testing equipment, there was no need to have such aggressive bars on there, so I went to 38s. I had some Pro Vibes on there. Now if you recall, if you're a long time viewer, the video that I did about reorganizing the front end of this bike with the Di2 setup and cleaning up the front end, those are the bars that I switched on. So that's what I've been running, the 38s, but ever since spending so much time on the gravel bike that has 42s, and they're a little wider because of the splay out, and they're slightly angled, I just found those so much more comfortable. And yesterday when I jumped on this bike, jumped off this bike onto the gravel bike, I just felt better. The reach is a little shorter on the gravel bike. It's not as if I'm having to angle my wrists forward in a straight line like the road bike was set up to. So, the bars that CADEX sent over a few months back that were scheduled to go on the gravel bike are now on my road bike. And I think they're here to stay, well, until CADEX want them back. So, let's get into the details of these 40 centimeter bars, which are the CADEX AR full carbon bar. Go through the details, and then I'll do a quick whip through of how I got them on the bike. A close-up look at the handlebars before getting them installed on the bike, and the first thing you notice is their weight. They are crazy light. One-piece carbon design, and they don't flare out too much, and that's why I'm putting them on the road bike. You can see there, it doesn't come out this far here, and obviously the same on the other side. There is a bit of sweep on here, so it pulls the bars back a little bit, which just might be what I'm after on the road bike. We'll see. Cable routing on the left-hand side here, there's a hole here, and some cable routing holes here and here. The stats that are printed on the bar: width 400mm, flare 8 degrees, reach 70, out sweep 3, drop 115, back sweep 3. Not sure if that's coming through, but they're the bars themselves. Where the width is measured to is on the top. Hoods to hoods. And these come in at 400 mil, so 40 centimeters from there to there. Now what this means for the out sweep at the bottom here, that's 44. So 2 centimeters out sweep on both sides. Now, as I said about the weight, these are super light. Let's get these on the scale. Weighing handlebars is always tricky. There's always a solution for that though. 0 offset. Okay, the 185 grams. That's pretty light for a set of handlebars. Okay, let's get them on the bike. Installation was pretty straightforward because no cables had to be shortened or lengthened. Some of the internal routing of the Di2 cables had to be changed, with the Di2 holes on the CADEX bars being on the top as opposed to being on the bottom where they were on the Pro Vibe bars that I'm taking off here. But one tip, one word of advice, if you're ever doing any internal cable routing, grab yourself the Park Tool internal cable routing kit. It makes life so easy for doing tasks like this. I'll put a link in the video description below to how I wired everything up with the previous bars. It's pretty much one for one exactly what I've done here. It does involve the wireless module being installed inside the handlebars and also the climbing or satellite shifter installed too. I've always found installing bar tape is so much easier when you're on top of the bike like I am here. I'm still not the best at it, but this turned out okay.
Please don't fall. This is all that I've got. The scars and all these empty walls have gone away. I open my eyes as you will see. Not again. We've been down this road too long. Whoa. You told me all you needed was my life, but you take too much. I hope you're better now. You told me all you needed was my life, but you take too much. I hope you're better now.
So 185 grams for a set of handlebars. That's pretty light. The bars that I took off with the Pro Vibes, they come in at 233 grams. Not really one-for-one comparison though, as they were 38 centimeters. What else can I say? The sweep is noticeable, but I like it, so it's a little further set back. The longer tail on the drops, so the actual, it's got more piping on the drops, I guess you'd call it. That's welcomed. Sort of more upright as I'm back here. Overall, I'm pretty impressed. The bar tape that I used was some Giant bar tape. No, that's not the gear I want. Oh, the wind has stopped. With some Giant bar tape, it's 3 mil thick though. It's some super thick bar tape, probably a bit too thick, I think. I thought let's just go the most comfortable setup that I can get. So, what I've done recently to the bike, it should effectively be a sofa on the front of the bike, and it should be that comfortable. So I've got new gloves, I've got new bar tape, I've got a new set of carbon bars, I have the Zip 454 NSWs, hookless, tubeless, running at 58 PSI, 28mm tyres that blow out to 30.5. I should be falling asleep. That should be so comfortable. Can I notice? Nah, it's not uncomfortable, but I've been riding a gravel bike a lot, which is, yeah, well, as you'd expect with a lot lower PSI. It's like floating on clouds. This is not too bad at all. Position-wise, I'd have to go for quite a long ride on this, another 4-hour ride or something like that to know how my back and shoulders adjust. It's not uncomfortable though. New bar tape's always good. On the splay out, so I'll try and shout so you can hear me. But seriously, how good is this view? Okay, on the splay out, you can see the levers turn in a little bit now, which is welcomed. So rather than be straight with my hands and like that, a little bit more natural. The new Shimano Di2 Ultegra Endurace do curve around a bit. One day I'll get to that. Good enough for now. These curve in a little bit, both sides. Hang on, other hand, there we go. So that's comfortable. Now, one thing I wouldn't use these bars for would be a criterium racing, or where you're butt barging people with your handlebars, because that sticks out now. That would probably hook on somebody. Why I loved, probably better audio this way, why I loved 36s and 38s is that you could squeeze through any gap and you'd put your elbows out a little bit and you'd work your way through a bunch, no problems at all. You'd be brushing up against yourself rather than your bike. As soon as something touches your bars, and it's just, bad things happen, So given I'm not racing butt to butt, or bars to butt with other people at the moment, this setup's going to suit me just fine. As I said, the sweep back here, just I'm getting creative there. Lucky it's a quiet road. I've got more bar back here to grab. That's better. More bar back here to grab, and that's super comfy. There's a lot of give in that. So I'm pretty happy with those. We'll see how they go. My bar tape job, I give it about a 6.5 out of 10. It may be asymmetric. That's because I've got that thing on there. But it's not a showpiece, it's a workhorse. It's a tool for the job. I do have the 2022 version of this bike on order, but I think that will arrive in about 2025 at this rate with the new Ultegra on it. With the upgrades I've done, I do not need a new bike at all. This frame fits 28mm tyres. I've done all the upgrades to it, and I'm super happy, but I also want to get my hands on the new Ultegra. So I think I could probably, I mean, this bike's in great condition. I could probably flip it and, hey sheepies! Good night to be a sheep. I could probably flip it and yeah, the switch over wouldn't be too much. I have the original tyre, wheels and tyres to go back on. Handlebars, I'll probably put the Pro Vibes back on, the 38s. Anyhow, that's my take on the bars. Sprinting, fine. As I said, comfort, fine. I just have to ride it now and get used to it. But technically, gravel bars on a road bike? What's the world coming to? All right, windmills are over here. Let's go. Car back. So one thing I noticed as I was swapping the bars out today is that in the last few days I've swapped the Pro bars out for a set of CADEX, and I've swapped the CADEX saddle out for a Pro saddle. Got me thinking, maybe I should have just ridden the bike backwards for the same effect. Is that a dad joke? Can I do dad jokes on the bike with that little maxi around? Okay. Hey, look, one tip for Garmin users. Garmin Edge users in particular, Live Track. It can be set up to start or stop at any time. I think Live Track, when it first came out, you had to enable it and it was just enabled every time you started an activity. Well, no longer do you need to do that. You can go to the shortcut menu, pull down from the top and start Live Track and stop Live Track at any time. So I've got myself set up so it emails me a link if I want to share that out. Plus also Mrs. Lama gets an email as well. I don't want that on all the time, so I've got it pre-configured, and just then I thought, well, it's 20 past 7 at night. Again, I'm in the middle of nowhere. It's kind of handy for her to have a Live Track. We do have Apple Find My Friends set up, but the Live Track's also handy. It has my route, so she knows where I'm going. So hot tip, Garmin Edge users, configure Live Track even if you'll never think you'll use it. Configure it, put your emergency contacts in there. On the rare occasion you just want to say, you know what, I want people to know where I am. You can pull down, hit go. If you have cell reception, you are all good. There's a random tip from the road from Lama. The hill hasn't started yet, but the windmills are here. Check these out. As Max would say, they're very big, very big. Just might get home before dark, depending on the wind. The wind is nowhere near as bad as it was yesterday. So with no cricket on the radio, I'm searching for tunes or entertainment. Now, one thing I've come across lately, now don't be too quick to judge, bear with me on this. If you're on Apple Music, search for Nina Sky in the Mix 26 Madonna. As I said, don't judge, it's banging, it's brilliant. Tons of great Madonna tunes, 1 hour, and they've mixed it very well. So that's what I've been listening to a few times. What else in the middle of that? Beatles, Let It Be, given the recent, was it Netflix or Amazon or the Peter Jackson documentary? Green Day, what else pops up? Linkin Park, AC/DC, and now my Bogan roots are showing, aren't they? So just about to hit a decent descent here. We rode past it before. We're looping back home now. How much do I trust my own bike mechanic skills? Well, we're about to find out. I have the GoPro mount that mounts in my mouth, but given I've got the GoPro on the front of the bike anyway, I don't see the point. And it's not far back enough for you to see the handlebars in action. Woof. Woof. So we'll just capture the front. Should be, there's a bit of a side headwind. Might not quite crack 70 k's down here. We'll give it a shot. Still touch and go on the sunlight for getting home. I do have a front light in my saddlebag. I'll pull that out if need be. All right, time to put it in a bigger gear and go down this hill. Unfortunately, due to the GoPro being an unreliable piece of I didn't actually have any footage of this descent. The entire reason I did this route was to capture the descent, and I have nothing to show for it. So thanks to Relive for saving the day again when I've had a GoPro failure. 73.4, 73.9. Not really that steep, so I had to punch on the pedals a bit to get the speed up. Bike rock solid, tyres fine, wheels fine, bars fine. Nothing to report. No speed wobbles. Never encountered speed wobbles, touch wood. Even on the old wibbly wobbly TCRs from 2006, 2007. That's going back. Anyhow, that was a bit of fun. 38.5 Ks. My quota for the day only needed to be around 33 Ks. So this brings me up to 435 or so. Might be able to wrap it up tomorrow. We'll see, but for now, that's the fun over. Gotta chase this sun home. Or chase the moon, wherever that is.
The scars and all these empty walls have gone away. I open my eyes as you will see. Not again. Moving down this road too long. Whoa. You told me all you needed was my life, but you take too much. I hope you've had enough. You told me all you needed was my life.
Okay, 2 hours in, just over 60 Ks. This wind again today. Woo. Headwind home today, which made it a little harder, but I think in the race between Sunset and me, I think Sunset wins. So I'm gonna have to pull over and put my front light on. It's getting a bit dark. There we go, front light on. I might not need it, but better be safe than dead, I guess. Radar's on the back with plenty of battery left, so we're all good. Oh, it's been a tough ride home. Usually I plan my route so it's a tailwind home, but I wanted to go out there and do that windmill loop, so that made things a little harder with the cycling. The next few days we have a heatwave warning here for 3 days, which is going to make things a little bit more interesting. I think 35s and 36 degrees Celsius. Right now it's pretty cool, it's probably 19 degrees, 18 degrees. I'm good for water, but I'm getting a little hungry. What is the time? Let's have a look. 8:26 p.m. Summer is good, summer is good. All right, I'll wrap it up here as I scoot home. Again, thank you for all the views, the comments, the additional tips on the Varia radar video for yesterday. That were great. So if you haven't seen those, dive into the comments. Let me know how you're going for your Festive 500. We should be wrapping this up tomorrow. There should be more videos though, so don't worry about that. I'm really enjoying making these. And yeah, let me know where you're at. Will you finish the Festive 500? Are you doing it mostly indoors? I've done one ride indoors. I'm not sure I'll do any more. Well, for the Festive 500, obviously, I'll be back indoors soon. We've got a stack of trainers to get to. Anyhow, with that, again, no mention of the cricket because it's over. The Aussies won. I had to mention it again. That was a good watch, but I do miss not having the cricket on the telly during the day. Test cricket is, it's a great background track to whatever else you're doing because there's not really that much action going on. Speaking of which, this is usually a pretty busy road. Right now, This is marvelous. Oh, and before I forget, the bars. That's what this video is all about. They've been great. No problems at all. They're still there, which is a bonus. Again, like with all of this equipment that I'm looking at this week, obviously there'll be longer term reviews or comments. So maybe in a few months, if you're watching this or you have any comments further down the track, look back, let me know, ask me questions. These are going fine. As for the sidewalls and the GP5000s, they're still holding up. Happy days. All right, I better get home, it's getting late. We'll see you tomorrow.